Hello everyone, and welcome to Learnable Computer Science. Today, we'll be doing lists and files in Python, so let's get into it. Before we know how to code it, we kind of need to know what it is, right? The basic syntax. We kind of already encountered this in like the last class, but we'll just describe it again. So basically, lists are data structures that can store multiple variables. So you know how we had like x is equal to 5 and y is equal to 2 or something like that? Here, we can have one variable to store 5 and 2 in it. So that's pretty cool. And it's used in many scenarios like databases, like storing passwords, like for like a big collection of data. You can store it in a list, all the passwords, all like the usernames. You can also get information on multiple objects that cannot be done without this. For example, like you need lists to kind of find stuff for multiple objects, and from that to find passwords, to find usernames, to find specific elements inside of them too. And they're also stored in indexes. So you may be wondering, what exactly are these? So if you look at the thing in the bottom, right? This is basically like this entire list has a length of 5, and this is the index. So if we have the string probe for example, right? So list index starts from 0. So it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if this is a string, right? This is a string, probe, the word probe, right? The P in the letter probe is index 0. The R in the letter, the letter R in the word probe is 1. The letter O in the word probe is 2. The letter B in the word probe is 3, and the letter E in the word probe is 4. That is that is a mouth twister. You should actually try that for all of this, but we can do that after the class. But for now, like what you've been seeing for strings, right? Strings are just a list of characters. Like strings are made up of a list of characters. Like probe, the word probe each letter has an index. So you're just replicating that same exact philosophy to a list. Instead of having the string have a list, you're putting a list, like an entirely new thing where you can add multiple variables. And that works exactly the same way. So for example, for probe, the length is 5 because it has 5 elements, right? PROBE. But its index starts from 0 to 4 because all index-based notation always starts at 0. Okay. Now we can kind of look deep into the syntax of it, right? So if you have a list is equal to apple, comma, banana, comma, orange. The list is the variable here, right? Like how we have x is equal to 5, x is the variable. So the list is the container containing the objects. And the container and like the value is this entire list closed off in square brackets. If you look here, and then inside of those list brackets, we have multiple strings. So basically, what we're doing is this variable is still equal to a value, but it's not equal to one singular value. It's equal to all of these. And technically, Python treats it as a single value because this is one data structure. See like the end, see like the brackets open and close. This entire thing is one value, and that one value is assigned to list. And inside of that data structure list, we have multiple objects. And here we can have multiple strings. Like it doesn't need to be 3. It can be as many as you want, but I included 3 here just for the example. And all of these 3 are elements, is what we call them. So the variable is called elements. This entire thing, this entire list with like the square brackets is the value, and that value is being stored in the container of variable. So hopefully that makes sense. And if you don't get it, please be please feel free to email me at saladkunumuri@gmail.com, or you can join one of those weekly tutoring sessions and I'll be more than happy to help. As it's kind of hard to know whether you're following or not if you need any help, right? Since it's a video. Okay, and you can print the list straight up and I'll just print the list like that. It's pretty convenient because I mean Python compared to like a lot of other languages is very English-like, if you know what I'm saying. English-like. So like when you print list, it actually prints the list. For like normal, for like another language like for like Java, it just prints some random letters and numbers. So this is very useful. So it actually prints out like that specific list, which is pretty good. And then from there we can kind of print this out in here, which is really useful. And also you can add elements to a list and delete elements from a list, and we'll go into that in the next slide. So list functions. Okay, so you see how here, right? We have different elements. You can change the number of elements with these functions. So list.append, it adds the element at the end of the list element. So list.append, so this is the name of the list, dot append, so the function, like how you had the math module, you do math.pow. Here you do list.append. So it's the same philosophy. And then you give the element that you want to add. For example, in this previous example, if you want to add strawberry to this, right? You do list.append, start quote, strawberry, end quote, right here. And it adds the element to the end of the list right here. So you'll put a comma and it'll put the element right there. It'll automatically do it itself. Sorry about that. Okay. Now we have list.index. So returns the position of the first occurrence of the element. You may be wondering, what is this? Like that's too much CS bargain. I cannot understand. But like let me simplify it for you. So list.index element. So based on this list, right? We have apple, banana, orange. What if we do list.index orange? Okay, we put the orange string inside of element. So it returns a position. So it returns the index of it. So if you go in here, right, we set orange. So it's 0. So now it goes to the list and it finds where exactly orange is. So orange is right here. So now I'll count the index. So it's 0, remember the index notation. It always starts at 0. So 0, 1, and 2. So it's at index 2, and it'll return 2 in this call. Hopefully that made sense. And then we have list.insert. So this is basically like append, but you also specify the index of where you want it to be. For example, if you do list.insert 0, comma, strawberry. Let's try that, right? 0, comma, strawberry. So if you go back, right? 0, comma, strawberry. So you want to insert strawberry at index 0. So that means strawberry will be inserted right in the beginning over here, and everything else will be moved 1 back. And again, we'll kind of see all this in action when we start coding. But if you want more list functions, there's an endless amount of list functions. Please feel free to just to look up this link or just type in list functions Python in like Google, and then you can get the same exact link. Okay, now let's try some practice problems. So take a minute to kind of like read this through and put up your best guess. And again, these practice problems and the coding exercises and the homework are so useful to learning that like it's impossible to learn if you don't do this. So please try to trust the process and keep on grinding. So please take a minute to pause and kind of answer these questions, and then we can get started. Okay. So these are the answers, and I'll go through them right now. So list is equal to apple, banana, orange. This is the thing that we've been kind of going with. So list dot append orange, print list. This basically, this function adds orange to the end of the list. So it's apple, banana, orange, orange. Remember, append is always adding at the end. Just remember that. It seems kind of counterintuitive, but yeah. Wait, I actually. Oh wait. Oh wait. I kind of forgot one function. Sorry. So it's list.pop index. So basically, what this does is it just removes the element at the index. For example, if I put element 2 for the previous example, it will remove orange from the list. So it just pops it out. Sorry about that. Okay. That was in the next problem set. So I just want to clarify that because I don't remember going to that. Okay. So now let's go to the second question. So list is equal to apple, strawberry, orange, watermelon. So now you do print list.index strawberry. So the index function basically finds the index of where the element is. So now you're saying like list.index strawberry. So is strawberry in here? Yes, strawberry is in here. Now you calculate the index. So it's 0, 1. So it returns 1. Or sorry, it prints out 1. Okay, and then you do list.index watermelon. So now you have to see whether watermelon is in it. Watermelon is in it. So now you calculate the index. 0, 1, 2, 3, and then 3 is printed out. You also may be asking the question like, what if the element here is not in the list? Then it will always return -1. Okay. Now let's go through the second problem set. So take a minute to pause this video and answer this, please. Okay. So we have the list as apple, banana, orange over here. So now you do list.insert 2, strawberry. So you want to insert at index 2, you want to insert strawberry. Okay, so now let's do apple, banana, orange. So 0, 1, 2. So it wants to put strawberry here, right? So apple, banana, strawberry, orange. That is where you want to put it. So now you do list.insert 4, watermelon. So now it's 0, 1, 2, 3, and then 4 is you want to just add it at the end. So then you just put watermelon at the end. So it's apple, banana, strawberry because you're inserting it there, orange, and then you put watermelon at the end. You may have said this is erroring, which I totally understand if you did, because if you put index 4, right? So it's 0, 1, 2. How could you put 4 there? There's no indication of 4. But this is super important. Like you have inserted strawberry here. So this list goes into index 3. So then you can put 4 at the end. So you have to kind of think dynamically as the list grows, expands, or it depletes and deletes. So you have to take account of all those kind of stuff and then make an assumption. So 4 here will not error because you'll just be adding it to a list as you already inserted strawberry, which is already length 4, so you can add 4 at the end. Okay, and here we do list is equal to apple, banana, strawberry, orange. List.pop 2, so you're just removing the second element. So it's 0, 1, 2, so removing strawberry. So it's apple, banana, orange. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense. So now let's go into code and let's actually put this stuff into action. So hopefully that gave you like a better exercise on like what exactly to do, what not to do, how to use these functions. But we can get started with actually coding it. So we can do, let's make a new list called passwords. Actually, no, usernames. Usernames is equal to, you put the bracket, the square bracket, and then you can add how many ever elements you want. So I'm gonna username as I actually don't know what usernames like. Okay, another one. I'm just doing this. I don't know exactly know what to say. Okay, let's say if we have a list like this, right? So now we just went over like usernames. This is the variable is equal to, this is the one value, and inside the value is all these elements, right? We went over that throughout the end. So now let's build a program where we build a program that gets a word from the user and adds it to the end of the list. So we can easily do that. So we can just do input, user input is equal to input, because we're collecting a string. Give me a word. Okay. And then we can just add that word to the end of the list. So usernames dot append. Then we give user input. So now and then we can also print out list here just to make sure it works. Very convenient. Just type in print list and let's see. Give me a word. Computer. Class list. Interesting. So here, what's happening is you are printing the address. So if you do print the list here, it prints the class name. So it does not print. So it does not print that. Oh, my bad. Usernames. I've been kind of going with examples. So now if I run it, let me just delete. Okay, now it prints it out. See? Now now I'll give computer. Now I'll put computer at the end. I don't know why I put list, because of the previous examples, I actually coded up those examples, right? And I put list here because I named it as list. So now I changed it to usernames. So yeah. Okay. So this is basically how you do that program. You can make it a function and all that kind of stuff, but hopefully that's basically common practice right now, because we're gonna get into some real complicated, I mean, not real complicated, but we'll get into more complicated code in the next lesson. But let's just build another one. Let's build one final program where it basically build a program that pops elements from the list until the list is empty. So you can delete this. So for I in usernames, my bad. For I in usernames, list.pop. Oh, username. Okay. Okay, that runs. So now let me just print out username. Let's see if this works. Okay. Now I may be kind of confused. Hello, hi, Fortnite Gamer is before. It removed some of them, but it just kept Fortnite Gamer at the end. Interesting. That is because for I in username, right? This runs 3 times. there's 3 elements, right? For I in usernames, hello, hi, Fortnite Gamer. For I in usernames, this runs 3 times, and usernames dot pop 0. This is basically like popping only twice at 0 because this is running 3 times. Like there's no other element. So if we do I here, and let's run it, that doesn't make sense because this is a string 1 and 2. Even if this was a number, if you increase the variable count, it goes out of range because the list is shrinking. So this won't work. So that means we'll have to pop them. We'll have to pop again at the end. So username dot pop 0. So now it gets them off. Hopefully that made a little bit of sense. Basically, what we did is we had a list with username. We printed out the username. Now we had a for loop. Since it's a list, right? You can include the list in this, right? Because basically, what we had the range function, if you remember, we had the range function, but we don't have the range function this time because we can just put the list here. But if you want, we can put the range function. We can put the range like this, and this might result in error. Yep. So this cannot be interpreted as a string. So that means this has to be dot len, or sorry, len. So you have to put the length function on this. So now if you run it, now it gets all of those out. So it's basically like what happened when we do the list is it's not getting the last one. So this is all about debugging and trying to figure out your error. So now because we have this, right? We have the length of usernames. So it's 3. What that was doing is when you put I in usernames, it's only counting the indexes. So you see how it's 0, 1, 2. It's saying 2 there for I in range 2. So it only pops it 2 times. But here, since we have length of usernames, which is 3, now it runs 3 times and we pop all of them off. So you don't exactly know what this, hopefully this is self-explanatory. You're just passing usernames as a parameter and you're asking the function to say how many like characters it has or how many elements it has. So there's 3 elements in here. So this will return 3 like this. So if I can delete, this will return 3. And then for I in range 3, you're just popping off 0, I, and then Fortnite Gamer, and then there's nothing left. So hopefully that made sense. And then so just popping the beginning element off each time. And you may be wondering, why can't you do the last element or the one element in the middle? But think about it. If you put element 2, right? If you put element 2, 0, 1, 2, it should remove it. You should remove this one. But the thing is, it'll remove element 2 again. But there's nothing in element 2 after you remove Fortnite Game. So it will result in an error. So if you run this, see, pop index out of range. It removes Fortnite Gamer, but it cannot remove anything else because you're calling an element that does not exist. So that's why we put 0, so that anyway, since we're removing this, all these slide forward. So removing that, all these slide forward, removing that until all of them goes away. And we can even add another one. So orange, let's say orange. Orange. So if we do that and run it, even if the list is longer, we delete all the elements in it. Okay. Let's go back into slides. Now we're just going to go through files very quickly. You can definitely dive way deeper into this. It's like file manipulation is actually a pretty good topic. So basically files are documents, or you already kind of know that they're documents or pictures inside of your computer. And capabilities, you can access files from your computer, which is very, very cool. like if you have a file in your File Explorer or Finder in Mac, you can basically access that file inside of Python, and you can actually write stuff in that file and it will save, which is really, really cool. And it'll loop through the files, get each word letter, can rewrite files, and a lot more. It's super, super cool. It's definitely a must, and it's also very easy to do. So if you're interested, please click the link, or you can just look up file manipulation in Python, and you can find some really good sources in it. But we're not going to go that in depth into this course, because this course is more focused into the basics of Python, and file manipulation is not really in that bucket. But it's super fun, it's super easy. I would definitely recommend to do it. If you are later or if you're later going to a CS course in your school, I would highly recommend. But other than that, this is the homework. In your comments, explain what lists are. You can just kind of write it down in the comments, explain what files are, and then build a program that asks the user whether they would like to append, insert, or index. And each should be a function. Should ask all necessary information on each function and update the list and print out the list at the end. Okay, so please finish this by like the next class, where we basically go over the homework, and the next class we'll go into object-oriented programming. So yeah, so I'll see you in the next class, and bye-bye.